Welcome to the spot. It's time to ignite. Oh yeah. Operation Hangout. The feeling's just right. Chilling with the crew. We're ready to groove. Opinions flying high. Come on, let's move. Hang out all night long, all night. Laughing and debating, playing our song. Oh yeah. Share your thoughts, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Operation Hangout, let's reach for the sky. Let's fly. Pull up a chair, let's get in the zone. Voices blending smooth like a funky trombone. Oh yeah. Topics from the heart, making us think. With a twist and a shout, raise up your drink. Cheers! Hang out all night long, all night. Laughing and debating, playing our song. Oh yeah. Share your thoughts, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Operation Hangout, let's reach for the sky. Let's fly. Bring it down, shake it up, feel the beat. With every word we share, the circle's complete. Living loud, think it proud, that's what we do. Oh yeah. Join the club, come on through, we're waiting for you. Alright. Hang out, all night long, all night. Laughing and debating, playing our song. Oh yeah. Share your thoughts, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Operation Hangout, let's reach for the sky. Let's fly. Hang out.
What is going on, everybody? We're back at another stream, another live. You know where you're at. You're at Spartan SQ Network. Let's try that again. You know where you're at. And you're at Spartan SQ Network. I am the host of Spartan, aka Peter. The show is called Operation Hangout. Tonight, we have a battle royale. Two biggest iconic war games you ever played. If you haven't heard of them, you're probably living on a rock. We are talking about Call of Duty versus Battlefield. Which one is the best, the ultimate first-person shooter war game? There's so much to talk about. But before we go into it, let's get a little house cleaning going here. We got Eric in the house. What's going on, my man? And Greg is in the house and also backstage. He also says, hit the like, share, and subscribe. And the old age is getting in his memory. I'm gonna kick your goddamn fucking ass. I swear to God. All right, let's get his guy in here so I can curse him out.
Meh.
Last time I checked, I can kick your ass, number one. Number two, I can kick your ass. And number three, I can kick your ass. So you can pick either one. Please don't tap me. You're gonna miss all your teeth when I'm done with you, buddy. With all 8 jokes.
What teeth? What teeth? I keep telling people this, but no one believes me. I have no teeth.
Yeah, good point. Well, you're gonna have no gums when I'm done with you.
Well, I've been improving. I wouldn't. Well, I don't even have to worry about pain because all my teeth are gone.
Anyway, my man. So we're talking about Call of Duty Battlefield. I know you have probably a little experience with both. Not maybe not a lot. I know we talked a little before the show starts. So, what is your? And you know, what? Let me go with my first experience with Call of Duty and Battlefield. All right. Call of Duty. It came in my radar in the PlayStation 2 era, and I wasn't a fan at the time because I was in two different games at the time. I'm not saying there were bad games at the moment, but I was into different types of games at the moment. So fast forward to the PS3 era, Xbox 360. Please don't judge me. I know it was a bad idea. 360. I'm never gonna hear the end of this from CQ. But
A 360. Well, do you say 360 or a PlayStation?
Xbox 360, if you remember that, it was out for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
I
was.
just couldn't hear what you said. I wasn't too sure if it was PlayStation or
I said
360.
PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360.
I
Um,
still own a PlayStation. It's collecting dust and it's not even plugged in.
man, I love the PlayStation stuff. I don't care anybody says. I think this is the best console ever made, hands down. So yeah, dude, I'm in the process of collecting all the old systems. Right now, on my other side of the wall, I have a Nintendo, Super Nintendo, a 360, a Sega,
I gave mine away.
a
360.
PS2,
Fuck.
a Switch, and a PS5.
Hmm.
I'm in the process of collecting because I like once in a while plugging them in, and
Hmm.
it's fun to play the old school memories sometimes.
Oh
I
yeah,
won't sit
yeah.
there and play hours, but I will sit there and play for, an hour or two tops, maybe. It depends what's going on in the day. But let's get back on the subject for seriously. So I got into the Call of Duty era gaming in Modern Warfare. Believe it or not,
Yeah.
Modern Warfare. I believe I was Call of Duty 3 or 4. I'll look up the timeline right now, actually. And here it is, Call of Duty. I should have my homework done. Games in order. Bada bing. So it was Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. And that really got me into it.
Yeah.
Because reason was simple. The online game was incredible at the time, bro.
Hmm.
You gotta give them credit when it's due. A lot of people from Call of Duty 4 up to Ghost. I was yeah, up to Ghost. Ghost was probably a commercial failure, but I thought it was pretty good overall, to be honest with you, bro. But that was the Call of Duty Golden Age. Do you know why
Yeah.
Greg?
No idea. I've
All right.
never been a big fan of Call of Duty. I own a copy of it. Black Ops 3. Was it?
That was okay game. That was not the
I,
greatest.
I owned it. I've played the first few of them, and I got bored of them, to be honest with you.
So the Call of Duty Golden Age is from. I'm gonna list the games in order. All right. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Uh, Call of Duty. I'm not gonna say Call of Duty, so you guys get the idea. World. Then it was Black Ops. I'm sorry, not Black Ops. I was before that was actually Modern Warfare 2. Then was Black Ops. After Black Ops, we had uh Modern Warfare 3. After Modern Warfare 3, we have Black Ops 2. And
Yeah.
after Black Ops 2, we have Ghosts. So the reason they call those the golden age of Call of Duty because if you play the storyline of those games are incredible, bro. You felt dialed in into the characters. You actually understood what they're trying to tell you as a story. It was intriguing. It was great. It was exciting. All right. Now, if you were a online person, the reason was also called it because the online time those games were actually extremely good. And the online was competitive. Yeah, you have those fucking assholes who camped like myself. I gotta admit it. you always, but you didn't have all these hackers, all this bullshit back then because it was a game that you enjoyed. There were some people that went to the next level, obviously, but they enjoyed it. You played it because it was enjoyable. Playing Call of Duty now is kind of like almost a chore playing online because you have to have a full time job to support that habit because you have a lot of you know pay things like the guns. If you want like a special gun, you didn't
Oh, the
level up.
skins and shit like that.
Yeah, you had to level up at that point back in the day. You're like, okay, you had 100 kills, you get points, or 10 kill shots, or whatever.
Mm.
Now it depends how deep your pockets can go to do that, and I don't like that. Now with Battlefield, what got me into Battlefield was I got Battlefield in my radar at Battlefield 3. And I at the time when Battlefield came out, I was
50.
no, fuck you. I was really into the shooting games at the time. And I was trying to expand my library.
Mm.
Like I played the game at the time called Killzone, if you remember that game.
Killzone. Yep.
Yeah, and there was other games. So Battlefield 3 came in my radar, and I was like, "Oh, this is actually fucking good." But one thing about Battlefield versus Call of Duty, and I think a lot of people agree with this, it's more realistic versus Call of Duty.
Mm.
For example, if you get hit in a headshot, all right,
You're dead.
you're not gonna get like 3, 4 headshots, and then you're gonna be eliminated, right? One headshot and you're done. Kind of make sense?
Yep.
So I think Battlefield has the upper edge in the realistic part of it. I have given credit on that. Battlefield has an upper edge with using realistic weaponry
Mm.
versus because Call of Duty has gone into their points that have gone very, very futuristic. I
Yeah.
think Black Ops 2 was futuristic, but they didn't go to like out of the world futuristic. You know what I'm saying? You don't really.
Yeah.
I can't say I
Um.
don't see this happening in real life one day, but a lot of this stuff in Black Ops 2 is happening as we speak today. Droids, for example, you can see that happening. They're all shaped and sized kind of droids. They have mini ones, little, planes like small them. You throw them in the air, and they can
Yeah.
surveillance. A lot of that stuff. What mobile units that have firearms on them. That stuff I
Yeah.
can see. Now, if you fast forward the Call of Duty to Advanced Warfare, and they were in a process at the time, from my understanding, I might be completely wrong what I'm saying here, so take it a grain of salt. Is they saw the hype of Black Ops 2, and they put all their money in the futuristic game. That's why you had three. Was it three? Yeah, about three. Is it three or four? About three. No, four futuristic games back to back. You
Yeah.
had Advanced Warfare.
Right.
You had Black Ops 3, Infinity Warfare, and they had and not I'm sorry, not back to back. It was you had one year you skipped 2017 to 2018. Then you had Black Ops 4, and we're gonna speak about Black 4 in a minute because I have a bone pick with that fucking year. So you got 3 games in a row. Storyline, I enjoy the story. I'll be honest. I am a geek. I am a dork. I will play the story mode first. Let me say this nice and loud for everybody. I, the Spartan, will play the story mode first. People
I
may
would have
ask
loved to have played the story mode, but I never actually had the chance.
for which
It was
one.
always go straight online.
That is the problem most people have. You know why?
No, no, not with me. It was just a fact of I would have enjoyed playing the story mode, but it was my family. like my younger brother and his friends and all that sort of shit, because I actually played the game with them, and they always wanted to play it online.
I understand that. I had a rule. Okay, so Call of Duty always comes, and not anymore, but it used to comes around in around November-ish time, if you
Mm,
remember.
no,
So
I never
like
followed it after Black. What was it? I just saw it as. Um, where did I see it? Call of Duty Black Ops 3.
okay.
That's one I have. Um, I couldn't get into the story mode on it because I just
It was
didn't
too
enjoy it.
futuristic, right?
I just couldn't get into the whole game anyway, to be honest with you.
The story mode
Battlefield,
for Black Ops 3 wasn't the best. It was one of
yeah,
that's where the downfall of Call of Duty start happening. All right.
yeah,
So in November, it usually rephrase that. In November, beginning of the week of November, usually first or 2 weeks, first week or second week in November,
mm.
the Call of Duty games are always released. So if you remember correctly, Greg, when is my birthday?
It's in November '85.
Year's 85, correct. But what date?
I have no idea what exact day it is. I just
29th.
know it's in November. All I know is it's in November because yours is about a month after mine.
Okay. So my birthday is November 29th, 1985, like you said. All right. So what I used to do back in the day, and this is before shit went down with my family and everything, I always bought two copies. Do you know why?
No,
One was for myself. I bought myself my birthday present. It was a Call of Duty. And the second one, I always gave to my cousin as a birthday present because
all
we
right,
used to play online a lot together. All right. So
all right,
he always wanted to jump right into the Call. Like, nope. If I don't beat the campaign, I am not going into it.
yeah,
And it was always about 2 or 3 weeks before he come up on Thanksgiving, and I don't usually see him on Christmas, so I give him his birthday present early. Excuse me, not birthday, Christmas present early. All right.
mm.
So, by that said, I used to play the campaign first, before I get online, because to me, you understand what kind of weaponry you have for that season. When I mean season, for that year of the game. All right.
Yeah,
Then after that season, then you also have the theme of the year. Um, Black Ops 2 was a little futuristic. World War II, Modern Warfare, whatever. You have a theme. And this is where I have a fucking problem.
go
If
on.
you remember Black Ops 4,
No,
co- is the reason you don't remember it.
I never.
Black Ops 4 technically was a commercial success. Believe it or not, it was somehow. I don't know how, don't understand why. Somebody was smoking crack, probably. What they did, they took all the Call of Duty games, all the
Yep.
Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3. All right. They put it in one big game and it was only online. No story mode, no campaign, no nothing, no theme of the year.
Mm.
You know what I said to myself? I'm still going to get it to check it out. The worst $60 I ever spent, bro. Believe it or not.
Someone must have been on magic mushrooms when they did that one. Then.
Probably. I can't disagree with you on one for once. So, like the rating on PlayStation right now, to this day, the game Black Ops 4 is 4.2 out of 5. I wonder what the hell people are smoking. Because I would like some of that stuff. I really would. I wonder what the hell are you smoking? Saying Call of Duty 4 is rated 4.2 out of 5.
Yeah.
I can't make this shit up. I wish I did. I really wish I did. Because there was yes, they changed a lot of the gameplay, meaning the engines. The way you slide, the way you do this, yeah. But it was no theme, it was no grounding, it was no nothing. You literally pay $60 for a game you already owned or played in the past. And that was my issue. And still is my issue to this fucking day. Versus Battlefield, they did something similar in I have it right here. 2024, I believe it was called.
Battlefield 5, Battlefield 6.
No, 2024. Battlefield 2024, 2042, excuse me, came out in 2001. They were trying to compete with Call of Duty, and it was all online.
Ugh.
I'm sorry?
I went, ugh. I hate online stuff. I don't ever see the point in it.
No campaign, it was multiplayer.
Mm.
And PlayStation has it at 3.1 out of 5. Steam has it 6 out of 10. Obviously, you can tell those numbers they didn't do well. It was, my personal opinion, it's just failure excess. But before we get into it, I gotta get the most stubble head person in here I know.
Oh my god. I'm being blinded. He is so quiet.
Anton, turn your mic up. It sounds far away.
How about now? Better?
Yeah.
Yes. Anton, what's going on, my man?
Nothing much. Sorry, I was at the mall trying to get back in everything else. What's good, Craig?
Yeah, I keep telling you to use a bit of sandpaper on your forehead.
No, very funny.
You're an asshole here.
Jay, but it's coming off tonight. All right, it's coming off tonight.
You know what's funny? He's like, for our viewers, 2 of my guys actually had a chance to meet up today, and I'm kind of glad. And eventually, I'm gonna meet up with Anton pretty soon myself. We're gonna have that conversation after show, me and you actually. But Paul, aka the president, and Anton, aka Stubblehead, he
no, it's not stubble, it's just too shiny.
met up, and they sent me a text in the text group we have saying Jersey stands up. I went, oh cool. I'm like, and my comment was, do you remember my comment?
Yes, I saw it.
Yeah, no, it's funny how Paul has the most shiny head over both of you guys.
Yeah, he
Paul's
did.
comment was his head's a little stubby right now.
No, mine's a little, mine's looking a little shaggy right about now at the moment. So, but
That's what he said. Your head is a little stubby at the moment.
Yeah, no, what got me was I got blinded by the forehead.
Dude, if you see how shiny Paul's head is sometimes, man,
I've never really noticed
like,
because
what is
Paul's
that?
light's not that bright.
It's like the spirit bomb coming off.
Oh my god!
Yeah, like from Dragon Ball Z, the spirit bomb. When he put his hands up, it comes down. Like Paul doesn't even do that. He goes like this. There you go, spirit bomb.
I'd hate to be driving down the road with my lights on, right, and then Paul's head reflecting them back at me.
Oh my god!
Oh, he's gonna roast your ass later tonight. I know that already.
Oh man!
All right, Anton, you're my go-to military person. Before we get to the military side of it, you're as a civilian. And, oh, hang on. Somebody's popped their head in.
Shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the shiniest head in the world, our president.
I'm being blinded. Ow!
Mr. President, how you doing tonight?
A little worn, but I'm okay. Just
yeah. It's funny because literally before I just changed subjects. Literally a minute. If you were like, we were just talking about you.
Oh well, there you go.
We were saying your head is so shiny. Your head is like a spirit bomb, like from Dragon Ball Z. You just look down and you attack. Like, hey.
Whatever works for you. Whatever works for you.
Right about now.
Hey, according to Greg, he says if he's driving down the highway and you're driving, he'll blind you. Your head blinds him.
Well, right now, as I said earlier, right now, Paul's head looks like it's been matte sprayed, not glossy sprayed.
Oh god! The
I
map.
turned around and said to Anton as he came in, "Damn, your head's so shiny, and near enough blinds me from the light."
Oh God, sound like the weekend now. Oh, give me a break.
A little powder foundation on just before you go on. Just got it blotted there.
Yeah, my eyes can't take it that much longer.
Sunglasses, man.
Anyhow, but it's funny you guys said just drop in because literally this might be certainly me just dropping in just to say hello and whatnot because again I have very little experience in both games. Although I will say, I mean, Call of Duty, I never owned a late in gaming system, but I know when the PlayStation, no, not when the Xbox came out, I think Call of Duty was a game on it, and they would have it in these Best Buy stores, and you could play like a full level free in the store. Like, so I would be out late or coming late from work or whatever, so I stop at the Best Buy. I love was like looking at electronic stuff, so I would just be there. I would just play a level. And I would, I'd be there 10, 15 minutes or however as long as the level was, and then I would and then I would leave. But I think that the one thing I do remember from that time is that it was different, simply because of the fact, one, because it was World War II, and I know I forget when that came out. When did Saving Private Ryan come out?
19, I think 98, 99.
It had that kind of feel to it. Because if you ever watched that movie, it had that kind of guerrilla warfare type of, in buildings and whatnot. So it kind of reminded me of Saving Private Ryan when I was playing it.
So when originally Call of Duty came out, it was supposed to be the killer of Medal of not Medal of Gear, I'm saying Medal of Honor. All right. So that's the guy who wrote, I believe, or directed, I can't remember which one it was. Saving Private Ryan also did the first Call of Duty game.
I think that was Steven Spielberg. He was the director, if I remember.
Yeah.
I'm looking for it right now. I can't find the name, the director for this game. But whoever did it in one for job with it. But that was the feeling they were going for. A Call of Duty World War II, hard boots to the ground. Not what we have now.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
No.
Yeah, so Call of Duty came out 2003, but like you said, Saving Private Ryan, I think, came out like in 98. So, but it definitely had that feel to it, which made it different. Because I go all the way back to Wolfenstein 3D, right? So that was like really the first PC game, like third-person shooter type of game, and then Doom came out, I think, a couple years later, and that had a run of games and whatnot. But even then, the fact that you were playing like these pixelated, you were shooting against these pixelated figures, it's almost like they didn't feel real to you. You know what I mean? Like, especially when you're playing Wolfenstein, you could tell it was still, 16-bit graphics or whatever. So you didn't get that. Call of Duty was different for me in that the realism at the time, I don't even know what it is now, but the realism, like when you picked off you had basically your sniper rifle and you're taking guys out, it was a different type of experience, I think it affected you emotionally somehow. It's like I'm literally taking out a human being. I mean, Doom, you're taking out aliens and monsters and all types of people, so you don't get that that sense. But it's like when you're having a real person, like a Nazi soldier, in your sights, and you just take them out. And this, the way they played it, it wasn't just like the player just kind of goes down. It's kind of like they kind of go like down, like slowly, like like that. It's different. So, like I said, I don't know in the last 20 years, what the state of these games are. And obviously there've been series of, from what I understand, they've moved obviously away from the World War II. I think Battlefield also started as like a World War II game engine or environment, and then they've gone into different urban settings and different war scenarios and whatnot, and now they got like weapons like helicopters and different aircraft you can use. But it's but that experience though, it got to a point where it got a little creepy. I'll be honest with you.
So let me give you a little feedback on this. All right, so the current Call of Duty games the Modern Warfare games are pretty realistic, believe it or not. Some of the scenes, you like Anton will vouch for this. when they're doing clearing the house, it was literally they took the idea from the not Benghazi, Belanin raid. That's what they were trying to simulate without using Belanda in the scene because they didn't want to offend anybody.
Right.
Yeah, it was it was very realistic. It gives you an understanding of why a lot of the guys who do this are known as door kickers, because you're literally kicking in doors. You're going in via, close quarter battle or CQB, and you're going in. You're looking at your sights, looking for your target, and then when you see, you see enemy, you engage, and then you keep going. It makes it very realistic because that's basically what goes on when you have to clear.
Yeah. Well, especially if you're doing like special ops, you're gonna do it in the dark of night. You're gonna do it in times when you don't want to be seen or want to be
heard
public. So it makes sense that a lot of that kind of activity would go on in a space that seems very, again, silent, or you just want to kind of go in, do your job, and get out. Yep. So it definitely makes sense in that regard that they want that kind of realism to it. And again, I
forget these guys who do the door break, and please correct me if I'm wrong. They're tier 1 operators. They're not like average Joe. They're special forces for a reason.
Yeah,
right.
Now, that's why they're.
Do they consult like real veterans or military? Like
sometimes they do.
Sometimes
they do.
Games. Yeah.
They do. Actually, one of the guys I grew up, one guy I graduated high school with is the Green Beret, and I know he was used. They scanned him and used him as one of the bots, basically as one of the characters in some of these games. They don't give him a name per se.
No, but I'm talking about in terms of strategic, like this, because you have the gameplay, right? But then you have like the scenarios. Right. So like I said, if you're gonna go and make a raid at night or whatever, like Pete was saying, going into a secret mission at night, like the Bin Laden raid,
right?
Consultants to say, well, this is how you do it, or this is how you set up, or this is how you.
They usually go guys that were, tier 1, and give it the realism, because if you're just gonna do something like this and it doesn't look authentic, people are gonna like. A lot of us in the military will know, this is not how you do it. And that's the last thing you want, is to try to put together a game where they have realism and it's not as authentic as the real situation is. And a lot of us can point out, okay, that's real, that's Hollywood. And you want people to look at it as, that's real? Yes, that is real. This is how you go in. This is how you open a door. This is how you clear a room. This is how you hold your weapon. This is how you move. This is how you react. So on and so forth. It's not just the big thing. It's the little things as well. Everything from how to see things from your night vision to muzzle awareness. To don't shoot one of your teammates in the back.
Right.
That's how detailed they are when it comes to it. Because they want people to have an understanding of the realism of what these men do.
Right.
Yeah,
so let me ask you this, Anton.
If you're in the campaign mode and you shoot your ally by accident, we'll say killing your allies is unforbidden and intolerant in the military rules or something like that. So if you just lost the level, you got to start all over again if you do that. So you got to watch your fire very carefully. When you come around those corners, you make sure that is a EKIA you're going to be doing, an enemy, a tango, whatever. Because if you're coming around in a corner and I say you're on my team and I shot Anton for accident in the head, game over right there.
Yeah, that's how
very seriously
want it.
So have any of these games have they gone to like the 3D, the where you put the goggles on and it's like a 3D?
I believe Call of Duty. I did it once, but I flopped really bad.
Did it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I get it with the VR. The VR headset. I didn't know they actually made one. If they did, it probably was very difficult for a lot of people.
Okay, it's right here. Call of Duty in VR was on the MetaQuest. Didn't do well because I haven't heard too much about it, to be honest with you.
Because they're very expensive. The MetaQuest VR goggles, they're not cheap.
They're $600.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not ported to one of the gaming consoles or whatever. You have to get
the only other system that has VR is PlayStation right now. Xbox has been rumored to work on one very soon. But you have to pay You buy the PlayStation, that's about $400 to $500, depends which version you buy.
You got to pay.
Then you have to drop another $500 for the setup.
Right.
Mhm.
And a lot of people like myself, like, yeah, I'm good. I'll sit on my fat ass on my fat couch, getting fat with a Mountain Dew and Pepsi and Doritos. I mean, so, and that is so. With the other game that we have to talk about is part of the show is Battlefield. Battlefield is more realistic, Paul, believe it or not, because like when you're playing online, I can me on kind of against two teams. I shoot him 3 or 4 times in the head. He may survive. Depends, you know. What better most of them? But in Battlefield, if I shoot him once, he's done. He's out.
Well, see, that's what I remember from the original Call of Duty game. Because, like I said, you were basically in Call of Duty. At least the free game in the store, you were essentially a sniper, and you would go around. And again, as soon as a guy was in your sights, and more times than not, you were taking like a headshot. And once you put the guy down, it was there. So I don't recall like even the original Call of Duty game where you had to shoot 3 or 4 times and the person still may be alive. All the shots were basically kill shots.
Yeah.
That was the beginning. Remember, we're talking about 03 when Call of Duty was a baby still. It was like little sperm at the time still.
Right. But even then, like I said, but for me coming from, like I said, Wolfenstein to Doom, I think I might have played like Doom 2. I might have played Doom 3. But to go from that to where at the time where Call of Duty was, it felt like I was like literally deleting people. You know what I mean? I said any other game, like I said, you could play any video game, Space Invaders, Galaga, whatever. Yeah, I'm shooting aliens, I'm shooting this, I'm, you know, like there's no effect on you. But it's like when I'm playing that game, it's like, yeah, real people are going down. At least, like I said, it was a big leap in evolution. And like I said, I think like a lot of this technology, you're gonna have this huge
get really immersed in it,
and then you level off because again, is the, you know, how much can you improve on gameplay, say from 2020 to 2026? Is there that much, you know?
Oh my God.
Are you making those leaps? Are you still making those leaps?
Absolutely. So let's backtrack a little bit. Let's break it down in timeline. All right, from 03 to 07. 06. I'm sorry. Call of Duty 1, Call of Duty 2, and Call of Duty 3. I'll use those main games to understand this.
Okay.
They were based off realistic, real history situation, like the Notre Dame invasion, for example, and all of this stuff. So everything you saw was all cold. It's like World War II stuff. But during 06, 05, and 06, a lot of fan base, including myself, got burned out the World War II scene. And I was a big war game guy back then. I was into different games, but I still play a little bit. And that's the reason I didn't pick up too much Call of Duty back then. It was boring. Because not boring because of the gameplay. It was boring because I saw the same story pretty much tell it a different way. Now let's fast forward, Paul, to 07 to where is it? I have the list right in front of me.
Okay.
Of 07, I just got it backwards. 07 to 2013. That was we known as the golden age of Call of Duty. So, Paul, you're not a Call of Duty person. Why do you think, or a modern gamer, I should say, let me phrase that. Why do you think that the golden age of Call of Duty, in your opinion?
Well, I would have to say World War II, in part because you're asking me. So because the one point I did want to address, you said that guys were getting burnt out because a lot of the Call of Duty action was centered around World War II. But I'm just saying, but from a historian point of view, why is that? And I think we have to admit that that's probably the last time America won a war. Like won it, like decisive. Vietnam, interesting. Has there ever been with any of these gaming consoles or platforms? Has there ever been a video game about Vietnam?
Yes.
Which one?
Call of Duty has done storylines on it and everything.
In Vietnam. Oh, that's good.
Black Ops 1 was Vietnam. And there were some other ones. I just gotta go down the list to tell you all every single one though. But Black Ops 1 was the first one. You actually, opening campaign mission, you're literally rescuing your best friend from the Vian Khan. He's
Vian
captured.
Khan, yeah.
And
That's
so
good.
it is. So the reason they were called the Golden Age from 07 to 2013 is a couple of reasons. So we finally went to modern warfare, meaning modern game, modern gun, everything. Great game, great storyline, great campaign, great online. 3 strikes. All right. Then you went to then they went back the second after that they went to World War. World War II game. It was the first time introduced zombies in the game. Not the main story. It was like a side game. You like
It was a side game.
with your friends. Yeah. So then we went to Modern Warfare 2, one of the best games, and this is where Call of Duty was ballsies. I'll tell you why they call ballsy, Paul. They had a mission called No Russian. When you started the game, you had an option to click. It tells you there's some content here. It might be disturbing for viewers. If you're one of them, please hit. I like to skip that mission or whatever. It will literally take the whole mission. You won't even have to hear about it in the game. All right. So this is how fucked up the game is. You're a Russian terrorist shooting up an airport. Every civilian. And I'm not talking about like, okay, you have M16s. I'm talking you have miniguns, bro.
What you mean? You can play the Russian?
You are a CIA operative undercover as a Russian terrorist, and you as a CIA operative, you're shooting at all your civilians.
It's very
You
realistic.
don't want to blow your cover.
Basically, what it is, what Call of Duty has always done,
Did.
found a way to take scenarios. What would happen if this would take place? How would you handle it?
Mhm.
And that's how they played it out. Like scenarios that you never thought that could happen. They found a way saying, you know what? Look, what can we do to make this scenario seem realistic? That was one of them. At the airport. Another scenario I think they did was I think one part in the story they did stuff based on September 11th. And it's been a decade, and at the time it was about a decade or so, I think. And I think some of
Remember that.
if I remember, because it's been a while since I played it. So there was a lot of things that they did that was based on real situations that have taken place. And it was one of those things that some people had an issue with because they felt like it was too realistic. But that was the purpose. It was supposed to be
Correct.
as realistic as it can be.
Yeah. Now I'll play double advocate here, Paul. For example, Battlefield, for another example, they had even more realistic stuff in there. They literally interview soldiers and want to know missions. Obviously, this has been approved by the Pentagon and all this stuff, so everything been declassified through the Pentagon at this point. And it was one mission. I remember playing this. Like the guy, they're running into this place, undercover underground base, and next minute he gets on comms, like he contacts Carrier Command or whatever the call sign was. He goes, "We have WMD down here. Like, we need to get the fuck out of here now." And for people who don't know what WMD stands for, is weapon of mass destruction. If you remember in the Middle East and back then, we were going in there to stop WMDs.
Right.
And that's the realistic part. Now, after 2013, this is where the Call of Duty took a nosedive. They went future.
Sure.
30 fucking years in the future.
So it almost came like Halo or something. Like they get,
Yeah. Black Ops 2 was futuristic, but not too futuristic. It was actually based in, was 20, what year it came out?
I think it's like
2012 it came out. But
Yeah.
the game was based in 2025, last year. But everything we've seen from the game is happening in today's technology. Androids, iPhones, Apple Watches, and so on and so on.
Yep.
So it wasn't really that far-fetched to believe it because we already dipped our toes into that technology at the time. So it made more sense.
Right.
But now everything is going to, I can climb a wall with a jetpack. Really?
yeah, the
Really, my
exo,
man?
because there was a time when the military was testing exosuits back in the late 90s to early 2000s. Like this was going to be the quote unquote soldier of the future.
Yeah, that's what the cosign of the project, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it?
And they had these ideas of how the soldiers going to be dressed around this time. Was their idea. And when you looked at it in the beginning, you look at the weapons, you're like, okay, it looks a little bit bulky. They look like they're carrying a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What Call of Duty did was they streamlined it to where the technology is not even all that heavy, and it is capable and it is workable. It's almost like as if you took it from their timeline, they were working on this for so long since like the 80s and 90s, and they found a way at 2025 to perfect it.
Quick question to Antoine. Didn't they use, because a lot of the people were pretty good fighters on Call of Duty, didn't they use a lot of the skills from the people who were playing the game in the army?
They did use a lot of special ops groups. They did use a significant number.
No, from the game to the actual army.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, Anton. I can actually answer this question for you. What were they doing in the early 2000s, early 20s, 2010, in the 2010s? They were military was recruiting gamers. You're gonna ask me why, Pete? Because these guys can pilot androids very easily from air to sea to land. Because they will, like, if you fail the ASVAB, but you can score a high score on one of their games, they will skip the ASVAB and put you in, and make you sign the papers. Sign it right now. Come on, like they were grabbing a pen, like here. If this was a pen, of course. Come on, sign it right now, because they'll give you the biggest bonus possible to sign right there on the moment on the dollar line your contract because you're a good gamer.
Yeah, because here's the thing that most people did not know. A lot of the controls that are used for the drones and everything are based off an Xbox controller.
Yeah,
dang.
As much as I hate to admit that.
Say again?
I hate to admit that, unfortunately.
I know, but it's the truth. A lot of a good number of the drones are operated, basically the reconnaissance drones are operated similar with an Xbox controller.
That was one of the worst controllers out there. Going from playing PlayStation for many years, then going straight over to Xbox. It's like,
unfortunately,
how the fuck do I do this?
I got pushed back because I am a PlayStation fan, but Xbox controller has not changed that much. PlayStation has changed, evolved a lot.
Yeah,
so the
Xbox I'm talking about back then.
It hasn't changed. It hasn't changed.
Hold on. I never played an Xbox 360 or an Xbox console in the early stages, right? I've gone from PlayStation 1, PS1, PS2, PS3, Xbox 360.
Okay, you went backwards. That's why. So from the 360 to now, the controller has not changed.
Nope.
The only thing that maybe changed is the new sensors, maybe a stronger spring for the bottle. Just get it more stronger.
Yeah.
The only thing I would like to see if Xbox or Microsoft continues down this path, the rumors are they're not going to make they're not going to make consoles anymore. But if they do,
I heard that rumor.
They need to start putting a rechargeable battery pack in there.
Yeah, didn't they use an Xbox 360 or a PlayStation controller in that submarine? And you know the one that imploded down by the Titanic.
Oh, you mean the billionaires who got who?
I know what you're talking about. I forgot the name of them, but I know what you're talking about, Craig.
Wasn't those billionaires who went down with the?
Yeah, I was on about the controller that they used to control the submarine. It was a console controller.
It's something like that. They did say to operate the submersible. I think an Xbox or PlayStation controller. They said it was that simple. They said, and like I said, Craig, Uncle Sam, when they make that decision, they make that decision. And when a lot of the drones are similar to controlled to an Xbox, all you need is to move, to aim the camera, and the certain buttons to just do what they need to do, and that's it.
Yeah, a lot of the weapons in Black, like in Battlefield, like I said, shows you the Juggernaut, whatever missile that literally, what I'm talking about, the big rocket launcher.
Javelin.
Javelin thing. You look through the little camera, It locks on that, boom, it goes.
Mhm.
Again, realistically.
Mm.
So my question to you, Anton, as a vet,
Uh-huh.
Call of Duty versus Battlefield. If you had picked which one, why, and which one do you think is more realistic in your military experience?
I have to go with Battlefield because they never took anything to an extreme level. It's like they kept it as constant to where it's understandable. Call of Duty, I like the fact they did the World War II and then they went a little bit futuristic. And sometimes when you look at the stuff, it was like, seriously, you're going this far ahead? Battlefield basically kept it consistent from World War II to the modern times, but they never tried to do anything like concept or extreme in some way, shape, or form. They've always found a way to try to stay within the timeline to keep it as simple as possible. Simple, straightforward, nothing over the top, nothing too fancy, nothing that just makes you look at it like, are you serious? So I gotta go with Battlefield on that. Because they never taken it like to extreme. Yeah, they never took it that there.
The only game I would say it kind of went far left for me was in 2021 Battlefield 2042. I haven't played. I don't know too much about it. From my understanding, and I may be completely wrong on this, it was a battle royale. They were trying to play catch up with
Call of
Call of
Duty
Duty,
with the free
and
battle royale. Yeah,
it failed. All these battle royale games fail every single time. And I don't understand why we keep doing this. We're going back to the same shit. It fails, we go back to it. It fails, it goes back to it. Like, but Call of Duty did with Black Ops 4. You really literally rebuilt the game you already owned 3 times fold. So not only play Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, and you pay $60 for each one. Now you buy Battlefield 4, Black Ops 4, and you bought the 3 games plus that one. So you paid it for 4 times technically. So I never understood that. I always hated that game. I always have a bone to pick with that game. It comes up in every conversation. So
I think
I'll give a W to Battlefield, to be honest with you right now, because they don't have a lot of games out. If you really look at the timeline, and it goes 02 it started coming out. 1942 Battlefield was the first one. 04 Vietnam. Battlefield 2 05. Battlefield 2042 06. Battlefield Bad Company 08. Battlefield 1940 09. Hang on, Greg. Battlefield Bad Company 2010. Battlefield 3 and 4. It was the first year they back to back. 11, not back. It was a year skipped. Battle 3 was 2011 and 2013 Battle 4. Now, this is my opinion the worst game ever Battlefield came out, and I don't know why they did this. Battlefield Hardlines. There wasn't even a military game. Now you were cops and robbers. That's what it was, pretty much. It was
stupid.
one. But Greg, if you remember, you said to me once before you loved that game. You played it.
I love the Battlefield Bad Company. Hence why I own a copy of it. I also own a copy of the first one, 1942. I own a copy. I actually own a hard copy of that.
So then they went to Battlefield 2016, and it was called Battlefield 1. That was a ballsy move. I'll tell you why, guys. They didn't do World War II. They didn't do Vietnam. They didn't do Modern Warfare. They did World War One.
Yeah.
They went really back.
And ironically,
a joyful game.
Ironically, there was not a lot of weapons at that time that really could do a lot. Only a handful of weapons that you could do some stuff with in World War One.
Okay. I agree with you because I remember playing the scene and they're in this beast of a tank. And to start it, it was literally 2 guys had a little kickstarter inside, like the old school T models. And I went, holy shit. But that thing was a tank. I'll be honest with you. That was a fucking tank.
Ironically, how do you think tank got its name? And I found this out too.
Go for it.
Say again?
Go for it. I want to hear this.
All right. How tank got his name was they didn't know what to call it. So what the British did when they were moving it, they hid it in boxcars and wrote tank on it as if they were water tanks that they were moving. And the name stuck.
That is funny.
Yeah. They didn't know what to call it. So they just called it a tank. because they want to pretend that, hey, pretend we're moving water tanks. Why are you gonna switch a trailer that has a water tank that has water tanks in there?
Mm-hmm.
So they called it a tank, and it just stuck.
Bit like a Trojan horse.
So then, after Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5 came out. I believe that was based on a World War II game also, I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I've got something to say about that. My best, not really say much, but my best mate's a big Battlefield fan. He owns all of them. He doesn't like Battlefield 5. He thought it was shit.
Really?
And he is he couldn't wait to get it. Because he had the strap of money and that sort of thing. His mum got it for him, and he was waiting for it to actually be released. And he was like, I've played it, and I'm disappointed in it.
Really? Wow.
So that's all I can say. He didn't say much. He said it was just shit. That's it.
I'm not too surprised because the numbers online, they're saying they're not great. Steam gave it 7 out of 10. Xbox 2.6 out of 5. That is extremely low for any game.
That's well over. That's just over 50%.
Yeah, that's low, under 50%. You mean
2.6 out of 5?
Yeah,
that's just over 50%. It's just over.
I would consider that like I think over 3.0 or 3.2 at 50%. To be honest with you,
okay.
If you really think about it,
okay, all right.
Personal opinion,
right?
IBM 6.3 out of 10.
Damn,
the numbers are extremely low. Let's be honest here. How can you say this was one of the best Call of Duty games? It wasn't. Battlefield. It wasn't. It was one of the flops. Now Battlefield 6, now the most current one, it came out a few months ago. It's not doing bad. It's only been a few months out. It came out in October 10th, 2025. So recently, a few months. And 10 out of 6 on stream and places a 4.1 out of 5. To me, that's a pretty good score overall.
That is very high. Which means whatever it was that wasn't working, they probably fixed it, and now it's working.
Mm-hmm.
Or they were willing to try something a little bit different. Because it's been a while since I played Battlefield. I've played it a handful of times, but it was just, I think what it was, how can I describe it? When they went from military to law enforcement, I could kind of see why they did it.
It sucked.
Yeah, it did. But I can see why they might have felt they had to do it, because it's kind of hard to keep retelling the same stories. But the
thing I'm reading right now, because I haven't played it, I'm just reading it online. So this is supposed to be based in 2027 and 2028. The storyline evolves around a conflict between NATO and Pac Armand. You might be. I don't know if you're familiar with that name, Anton.
Hold on. Which game are you talking about?
The Battlefield 6 right now is out.
Battlefield 6.
Yeah. So they made it. So pretty much, it's a evolves from Battlefield 3. You're saying here and 4.
I said it's according to this, it's between NATO and Pax Armada, a private military company.
Okay. So Pax Armada, is it a real company or is it bullshit?
No, it's a company. No, it's a name for the game.
Okay, but I just want to confirm that.
No, but there's always been issues between the PMCs and NATO or other governments and everything else.
Think about it, bro.
Issues with them always.
They're contractors. They're mercenaries. If NATO says you're not going in there, we're going in there. They're not making money.
Exactly. And that's the thing, because a lot of the guys, a good number of mercenaries, a lot of those guys that work for the PMCs, a lot of them were tier 1 operators in their respective countries, making 20 times more than what they were while in the military.
Exactly. So the facts are right there. You can. So from what it's saying here, the numbers are pretty good. I haven't played it yet. I cannot give you my true opinion until I play it, because I've been stuck on Assassin's Shadow, and I'm finally almost done with it. Jesus Christ, that took forever to beat that game.
So guys, I'm probably not going to be on too much longer, because like I said, I did have a couple of just general questions for you guys. So for those who played both, is one like who played both the Call of Duty series or the Battlefield. Is there one that's what's easier to play?
Battlefield.
No, it'd be
Initially
Call of
when I
Duty.
played Call of Duty, it was like it's one. I mean, most of these games you don't have to worry about aiming, you don't have to worry about pointing or finding a target. You just put the joystick in their action and just fire, and the bullets just find whoever.
Not
But
anymore.
in terms of who, like,
Really got to put an effort into it. Like I said,
right. So you got one controller, you're fixing, you're setting your sight. The other one you're firing or checking your scopes or binoculars or something like that. But just in terms of just moving around and just ease of play, are they basically just the same?
No.
In terms of gameplay, is one has a steeper learning curve than the other?
Battlefield has a deeper current learn because it feels more like a realistic firearm in your hands.
Yeah.
So now with the modern controllers, the squeeze of the top triggers, you've seen the newer controllers, right, Paul?
No. Do they vibrate or something like that, or?
So the controllers, if you want to give me a minute, I can grab mine. On top of his top buttons, right?
Yeah.
So you hold the premise like this. Okay, you got the
directional pad.
Thank you. The triangle and all those symbols and the other ones. So when you squeeze down, it has a spring now in the game. Something with the sensors from the system to your controller tells you I'm shooting a firearm, and you squeeze. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, it literally feels like a firearm. So with Battlefield, the trigger is longer because when you're actually pulling a trigger, you get surprised every time.
Right.
So actually,
speaking of that, do some of these controllers have vibration on them, or like the sensation that you're firing something?
DualShock 3 or 5.
What's it called?
DualShock.
DualShock
5.
Yeah. Mostly PlayStation.
Yeah, DualShock 1 and the PS1. Same in the PS2, which is DualShock 2. It will go to like to number 5. Right. It gets a lot more intense and a lot more powerful.
It gets very realistic.
And I would think it also would get more fatiguing on the hands, right? I mean,
all right. This is the PS5 controller. Have you seen? You have the D-pad, the other buttons, and these are the top buttons I was telling you about. Okay?
Yeah.
Right.
And you have a pad. So when you're hitting it, it's literally that's why this way is shaped. When you pull it or you're shooting, it literally feels like a firearm now.
I've actually worked on one of them.
You do follow through. That's the problem. People like to jerk the trigger, follow through.
That's the difference about Battlefield and Call of Duty. With Call of Duty, you just hit the button. With Battlefield, you literally have to shoot, re-aim, shoot, re-aim, shoot, re-aim, shoot, re-aim. It's more realistic.
Okay. As far as
you have to put more effort into it.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Mm-hmm.
It does. And I know there's been just a lot of different scenarios in terms of environments and everything. But what is there one that gives you more? Let me ask you this. It's like, does one give you like a better sense of satisfaction? Like you complete a mission, or is there like within these games, is there like an end of? Because I come from the era where games had an end. Not a continual, just one level after another where that gets harder or something like that. Do these games have a definitive end where you kind of quote unquote win the game or what have you, or can the gameplay be endless?
So you can answer this question in a couple different ways. Okay, so with Battlefield, don't start with Call of Duty. Call of Duty, it doesn't go like level 1, you beat the level, chapter 2 or whatever. It's one stream show. One stream game. So usually, whoever is the ruler or the lord or the dictator, the guy you're going after who's trying to destroy the world, that's the person you're going after. Marcos was Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Actually, you're trying to take out.
Was any since World War II was like Hitler or Stalin? Were they?
Stalin was
central to the game?
They haven't touched that yet.
I'm sorry, what was that again?
Stalin, they have touched it. Hitler, they haven't really messed with that yet. I think they're scared of backlash. There's a lot of backlash on that.
Because the thing with the especially with Call of Duty with the World War II games, the time period and the things that went on in that time period in the background that most people didn't realize, other than the battles, like all the other things that went on
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, yeah.
Battle.
But I know, for example, like in Wolfenstein 3D, Hitler was the last boss.
Mm,
He was in a like a mechanical suit or something like that, like a you know, for the time. But he was the in you know the last boss at the end of the game, and it's like you beat him, and then basically the game is over. Um,
okay.
so
They
so
used to
yeah,
use Hitler in Wolfenstein, the newer one, Two Bloods or something like that, and he was one of the villains. Wolfenstein end up, killing him again, deleting him in the
yeah,
game, and that's common. But to your original question, you do have the beginning and the end in the game. It doesn't go Call of Duty 1 to be continued. No, once you're done with that boss, that's it. You're done.
yeah, yeah,
He's the one you're chasing through the game all the time. My man is in the house.
yeah. Gotcha,
Doing
gotcha.
pressure.
Gotcha. Hey guys, I think I'm gonna certainly sign off for the night, but you guys certainly keep the conversation going. But yeah, whether or not I get into one of these games or gaming consoles again, I'm definitely I definitely represent the classic gaming from the '80s kind of thing. But certainly I appreciate the conversation, and I'll definitely follow up on some of these, and if I ever get the opportunity to play some of these. Now again, with some of these consoles, do you have to be? This is my last question. Do you have to? I'm assuming you have to own one of these games, right? There's no virtual or environment where you can just kind of log into an environment and either buy a subscription or something and just play these
no,
games, or
we're-
do you have to own a console?
That you can answer that two different ways, question, Paul. So Battlefield, you have to purchase the game. In Call of Duty, if you want to play the campaign, you have to purchase it. But if you would just want to play online, online's free. You can just download it from the PlayStation Store and play it. But you're not gonna get all the perks and everything with it. So I
Right.
always recommend just drop the $60. Even if you don't buy the newer Call of Duty, buy the older ones.
Yeah.
Right, but you would have to buy a console. I'm saying there's nothing that you can buy. Like, let's say if I hooked up through my USB port, one of the controllers
your
that you
PC,
just
you
showed me,
Oh,
and just play online. Like,
Yeah,
could
you can
do
play
that?
it on your computer.
I never tried playing like online on a PC before. That's
Yeah, it's a little more difficult
Yeah,
if you
a
do
lot of
keyboard and
people do it.
mouse.
That's what I'm saying. You can no, but you can buy like a controller with a
Yes.
USB connection.
Oh, yeah, there are a bunch
that
of
can
them.
work.
Controller
Yeah.
one. A
I
lot of
think you
people.
can pair via Bluetooth as well, right?
What is it?
You can also pair via Bluetooth as well, correct?
Correct. Yes. Xbox
Yeah, but-
controllers are compatible to PC. So you can just drop like 30, 40, 50 bucks, depends if you want to use on an Xbox controller and call it a day and and use that. But you can literally download the game from Steam for pennies on the end if you want and play the game right there and see if you like it or not. So you don't drop like 60 bucks on a newer game. You can pay for the older games. Let's say I don't know, Battlefield 2 or whatever. It's literally nothing. You're going to like, okay, I spent only $5 versus 60. It's no big deal. I didn't waste that money.
Right. I got you.
A lot of these games now are usually on all systems or on PC and PlayStation or Xbox or PC. A lot of games are going to PC because gaming PC is on a hot rage right now. Everybody want to play online on PC now.
And if you have a PC, I think if you have an Xbox, I think if you have a Microsoft account, it gives you access to Xbox as well, to the Xbox. Or you have to download
Game Pass. So Game Pass, I think is like 50, 60 bucks a month, and you get all their games library. So it's kind of worth it if you really think about it. But I'm not a Xbox fan, so that's why I don't have it personally.
Right.
I see Q, who's a huge Xbox fan. I think he pisses the Xbox out his ass at this point. He has that account, and he uses it with Call of Duty. They get Xbox owns Call of Duty. They have it on day one release now. Look who popped her head in.
Oh wow. That's the name.
Picture as always. Absolutely. Yeah, she hopped in on a Grabber show a couple weeks ago, so it's good. Yeah,
it's good to see her. It really is good to see her.
Always. Yeah, man. But I'm gonna step off. So yeah, definitely. I will see you.
Before you go, you want to go over tomorrow's topic for Grabber?
Actually, good job. I gotta check it myself. Give me a second. Keep the conversation. I'll give it to you in a second. Just give me 2 seconds here to pull.
I'm going to jump off as well. I'll speak to you guys later. All right.
All right, Craig.
All right, Greg, I see you, my man.
Be safe, man.
Okay,
To our
all
original
right.
conversation,
Talk to yourselves.
you know, Call of Duty is the more popular game. It's always been popular. But
Yeah.
like we spoke about last week, if you remember, was that we talked about Call of Duty is about to do a very hard reboot, meaning they're going to start from scratch. But that also goes hand to hand because they're working on a game. Not a game, a movie
Movie.
on it at the same time. So I wonder how hard a reboot are we talking about? So that is the biggest thing because I do think Call of Duty has got to the point now is cartoony-ish in a way,
Mm.
Yeah, I can see that.
and like
I can see that.
they're adding characters in the online. Like you could download Beavis and Butthead as a skin, and you play them as a character. Like, come on, seriously? I think
Yeah.
that is
It's
stupid.
like that sounds almost like Fortnite.
Pretty much. They're
Wow.
trying to compete with him. They're trying to compete with Fortnite, and that is the problem.
Yeah,
And
that's
why, yeah. Call of Duty should stay in their own lane and do it the way they've always done it. When the golden age of like Modern Warfare 2 came out, I mean Black Ops, Call of Duty 4 came out, Black Ops, all those original games. That was a golden age from 07 to 2013, the golden years of Call of Duty. They weren't trying to compete with anybody. They stayed in their own lane. They did what worked for them, and it worked. They weren't trying to copy anybody or try to be like somebody. When you try to copy or be somebody, you lose your identity hard.
Right. Hey, I just got the so I'll talk to you offline, but tomorrow's show is either going to be can we live without money or online dating,
Whoa.
which might be the same thing.
It's kind of different. Let's link up tomorrow. I'll give you a call tomorrow.
We'll touch base tomorrow, and but we got certainly several big shows that are planned over the next few weeks. So we're definitely going to have some some good content coming up. But I'll talk to you offline, and we'll decide what the best show to go with. But Anton, it was great meeting you for the first time.
Why?
It won't be our last time, and we're gonna get the Grand Poobah. We're gonna get our pain.
The old man involved.
We're gonna have that. Yes. We're gonna get the OG involved, and again, loved, and also like I said, definitely looking forward to having you and your lovely wife over to break bread together. So definitely pleasure
and everything else. So
yeah, pleasure meeting you. And I must say, ladies and gentlemen, Anton, what he says on the lives, that's who this guy is. Man, that's one of the things about when you meet, and Peter, when you meet these, we met in this space, which is to me the best use of the platform and the environment. There's nothing like where you can meet people who you work with face to face and break bread and really get to know the people and whatnot and their stories and whatnot. And so again, so what you see from both of these guys, what you see is what you get. And hopefully you guys think the same thing of me as well, that we're just genuine guys who, love our families and whatnot. We do what we need to do. We love to have fun also, which is why we have this show where we talk about these sort of things here. But there's no one's playing games here. There's no filter. We're just straight shooters in the space. So again, I love being associated with guys like yourselves. And again, looking forward to what we can do together, certainly in the near future.
It was definitely great to sit down and talk and eat and everything else. It was
100%. All right, guys. You guys have a great night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow, Pete.
Take care.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
So as we're saying with, Call of Duty, they're trying to be something they're not. I think that's what hurts them right now.
Yeah.
Versus, Battlefield, they're still trying to be who they are.
And
they're
that's
not changing.
That's why I pick Battlefield, because they're sticking to what already works for them.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you always hear imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Sometimes that doesn't always work. Continue to do what already works for you. That's it. Keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Battlefield did, and that's why I give them credit. They kept it simple. They stayed in their lane. They didn't try to be like Call of Duty. They didn't try to be like Medal of Honor. They didn't try to be like all these other games that you're hearing about. This is who we are. This is our blueprint. This is our core beliefs, and we're going to stick to it. And I know that's not always easy, especially in a business like this. But if this is what got you to where you're going, you can still stick with that plan or make some changes to the plan and still stick to your core beliefs to keep you moving forward.
The only thing I'm going to add to that, and I agree 100% what you're saying, is Battlefield does not come out with a game every single year.
And I think that's what helps them.
Exactly.
That's what helps them, because they'll put a game out, let time go by. Okay, there's some other stuff that comes with that game you could download and everything else. And then another game comes out. So it gives you that opportunity to look forward to it when it comes out. Yeah, I played this. Yeah, I played this version. I can't wait till it comes out. And sometime later, another version comes out. Okay, what's the new story they got going on here? Because I'm looking up the storyline for this most recent one. This is heavy. This is real heavy.
And I'm looking forward to playing it. I'm going to use another game for example really fast. All right. And I'm going to explain to you one after I read off the list why I use it as an example. Devil May Cry, one of my favorite games, actually. All right. Devil May Cry, the first one came in 01. Then in 03, Devil May Cry 2, not the best one, but I'll give them that. One of the best ones there, say to this date, is Devil May Cry 3, 06. 3-year gap so far at each one. All right.
Right.
Devil May Cry 4, not the greatest one. I give them that. It was 2015. Huge gap between two games. All right. Then you had the soft reboot 2013. It was okay. But then they went back to Devil May Cry 5. The recent one, it was 2019/2020. You see the difference. 2015 was the last one. It was a 5 years difference.
Right.
5 years. So that gap given time to work on the storyline.
Yep.
Work on the gameplay. Work on the graphics and polish the game. Another one, a good example, is God of War.
Yes.
God of War. It's a better example. So timeline again was, I'm going to use the main games only, or not the prequels, not the PSP version, the main console ones only right now. All right. Is God of War 05, God of War 2 07, God of War 3 2010. They took a break and they came back in 2020, just named God of War. Then the last one was 2022, God of War Ragnarok. Again, it's a gap there for a reason.
Yeah.
They even said it in when the God of War 2020, they thought they put the series to rest. But when they came back, they wanted it polished as perfect as possible. And I salute to them for that reason. And that's what Call of Duty was known at one time. Yes, they had a 3 or 4 year production cycle. I had no problem with that. But Call of Duty 4, aka Modern Warfare, to World War II, both games were polished. They had some little bugs.
Right.
But nothing like you would really give a shit about. Then you had Black Ops came out. Solid game. Modern Warfare 2. Very solid game. It was one of the best ones in the series of the Modern Warfare saga. And so on and so on.
Yep.
Another good example who does the same fucking bullshit. It's pissing me off at this point. It's one of my favorite games. I have a tattoo of it. It's Assassin's Creed. They are in a really bad state in the series. I'm literally about to finish Assassin's Creed Shadows. The reason it took me so long, I'll be very honest, the story did not pull me in. And it disappointed me. You know why? Because this is in Japan. Ghost of Tsushima, that game drew my ass in. Based in Japan. Same timeline, same everything, just different story, of course.
Right.
So where is it? These major companies have major AAA games cannot figure this shit out.
Well, I know what happened with Assassin's Creed. Remember, they wanted to do Assassin's. I think it was called Assassin's Creed Reconstruction, and I told you the story on what they wanted to do.
Remind me really fast.
Okay, it was called. I think it was called Assassin's Creed Reconstruction. This was supposed to take place after the Civil War, during the time of Reconstruction. A former slave becomes a member of the Brotherhood of Assassins. He's trained in the arts and everything else. He comes back to the States right around the time of Reconstruction, and at the same time, while Reconstruction is going on and slavery is over, that starts to the rise of the Ku Klux Klan and seeing all the things that are going on after the Civil War ended while Reconstruction was going on. And the story was supposed to be he takes his skills that he learned as an assassin and goes after the Klan.
Okay, now I remember. I remember them scratching that, but they also were talking about except scratching completely do a DLC, but they were scared of the backlash. Like they were, and all this is rumors during Assassin's Creed Shadow coming out. It was a lot of backlash. Oh my god, I can't believe you're using the samurai. I can't remember her name, the Black Samurai. And all this stuff.
I know what you're talking about.
But all that was bullshit media rumors. Japan did not give a shit they were using that the character.
And people don't realize there was a Black Samurai that trained in Japan. So it was authentic.
And he was awesome too. He was one of the best samurais, from my understanding. Because playing him as a character is different.
But the good thing is you're telling the story of a well-known and well-decorated samurai that most people never knew even existed.
Yeah, his name was Yakusha. Yakukin. I can't pronounce his name. He was in the 16th century African American who became a trusty samurai under the Japanese warlord Oku Nobunaga, and that Nobunaga was in the game. That is fact. I liked about it,
and that shows they did the research.
I'm sorry,
and that shows that they did their research.
They do the research. I got to kill that. They do the research a lot, and the character has been played in animes, games, movies. It's not the first time they use it. They're the most high samurai icon they have. A black dude.
Yeah.
Just saying.
People find it hard to believe, but it's true.
And that's why I think Call of Duty's failing. They're not taking the risk they need to anymore.
Honestly, I think one of the things Call of Duty should do, and this is just me, I say go back to the World War II timeline and do your research on certain units that were never talked about in American history.
They tried that, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was called, I think it was World War II, actually, the game called. Let me look at Call of Duty World War II 2027. And they did that again. They tried again with Vanguard. Vanguard did it very deep. World War II did it somewhat. You play as a character, you go through the game, blah, blah, blah. Vanguard did a little different take to it. There were units, but everybody in the unit, there were parts of the game. Okay, now it was, for example, Anton's time to start for 45 minutes to an hour. Those missions, however long they take, it was about your story of World War II. Then this guy's and this guy's and this guy's, and then in the end, you escape the prison, and then you finish the story together. It wasn't the greatest, in my personal opinion. A rating out of that is 6 out of 10, 6.1 out of 10, and 4 out of 5. So the rating is not the greatest. It was an okay game, but not a Call of Duty level game for a golden age. You're gonna say we're back to the golden age, and this is the time that people were yelling, World War II and all that stuff. Boots on the ground, boots on the ground, boots on the ground. And we got that, and then we're like, we want jetpacks. Call of Duty community is such bipolar. It's not even funny.
It's like, what do you want? Do you want boots on the ground during the times of Anzio and Omaha Beach? Or do you want the jetpacks of mid-21st century? Which one do you want? because you
But
can't have.
here's the thing with this. Call of Duty community is bipolar for this is my personal reason. I have no data. I have no nothing. I'm going to speak out of my Greek hairy asshole right now. So yes, it's hairy. If you guys want to see it one day, let me know. I send OnlyFans pictures.
Oh,
But seriously, the reason they were so bipolar, people don't understand. To build a game, it takes 3 to 4 years on a minimum. And if you have a high studio like Dice or Dog or whatever they're called, right?
we got Dice or Sledgehammer.
Thank you. Bad Company is another one, and so on.
Right.
So they can they have the manpower and the money to do a game in 3 and 4 years. All right.
Right.
So when we're asking boots on the ground, they are already finishing development on the games going to be released in a year or 2 years from now.
Right.
By the time we get what we want, we're on a different kick.
Yeah.
And that is the problem sometimes.
Mm.
And fatigue is a big thing. It is called what is that thing is called? Product fatigue or some shit like that.
Fatigue. Yeah.
And
Writers.
I think we are hitting a hard product fatigue with Call of Duty right now. We have not did it with Battlefield because Battlefield is not oversaturating the market with a game every single year.
They take their time. They take their diligence. We're going to put out a game when we know we're ready to put out a game. And that's why you got to respect Battlefield.
Exactly.
And as also, if you think about it, Electronic Arts has always been one of those gaming studios where the finished product's the finished product. The only time you ever hear Electronic Arts put something out year after year is always their sports games. Madden, of course, FIFA, NBA when they were doing NBA, NHL, and now they're going back to college football. So when they always went year after year after year with those games, when they put the current game out, they're already working on how to make it better for the following year. That's why I don't think people ever get fatigued when it comes to Madden. That's why people don't get fatigued when it comes to FIFA.
Mm-hmm. So here's the thing with that, me personally. So people who buy the, I'm not a big sports game kind of guy. I never have, never will. Maybe a little wrestling once in a while, but I never bought them year after year because nothing really changes year after year.
No.
CQ is a big person who said this to me, and he's right about this. If I buy a game in 2020, for argument's sakes, all right, I will update the game in 2025. In 5 years, 3 years. That makes sense to me with gaming. I mean, nothing really changes. The player changes once in a while. That's it.
Right.
Now, with Call of Duty, doing year after year after year after year after year, you got to change something up, buddy.
Yeah.
Taking a break, it doesn't hurt. I thought that's the plan was when Xbox bought them. But obviously, the ratings of Call of Duty 6, is it? The last one? Yeah, 7, I'm sorry. 7. Here's the numbers at this moment. It came out in November 14th, 2025, all right?
Okay.
2 months, all right? PlayStation has rated 3.9 out of 5. Steam, 5 out of 10.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Think about what I'm saying to you. Think about it for a minute. You know what? As you think, I'm going to tell you this. Battlefield 7 is supposed to be a sequel of Battlefield 2. I mean, Call of Duty 2. I'm sorry. I apologize. Call of Duty 2, right? Call of Duty 2, for a lot of people, including myself, was literally one of the best Call of Duty games ever made. The story was great and everything. But they left it on a cliffhanger. So when Call of Duty Black Ops, 4 came out, 3 came out. What the fuck did we get here?
Yeah.
When I played it, I'm like, This is 30 years in the future, even more we're already at. So when this announced, I was like, oh fuck. In a good way. I was excited for once. I don't get excited for games anymore. And when I saw that, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be good. When the reviews came out, this is like like you were smoking or taking bad acid, and it was a trippy kind of game. I'm like, okay, I don't want that. They did that with the last Black Ops game, and I wasn't a fan of that, to be honest with you. Black Ops 6. Because they Black Ops is always mind games in the game.
Right.
And I wasn't a fan of that. I was hoping, yes, I know they're gonna do a little time jump. I'm okay with that. Because that's how what Call of Duty does. They do little time jumps.
Yeah.
But not to the point that
nothing's recognizable.
Not to the point that I'm actually nervous to play this game, how bad it's gonna be. I'm gonna play it for two reasons. One, because I love playing the campaigns. I really do.
Yeah, because it's the stories. You look at the stories, you're like, okay.
I said it before you jumped on. I'll say it again. We as a players need a theme for the year. I told her earlier. I'll say it again. Okay, so do you remember what my birthday is? What month?
It's in November.
Correct. So what I used to do before my family took a shit is we used to get together for Thanksgiving. So I used to buy 2 copies. Copy 1 is for myself, and copy 2 was for my cousin for his Christmas present. Copy 1 it was for my birthday. Pete buying Pete his own gift.
Right.
That's bad, but whatever. I played it before I go online. It gives me understanding of the weapons, the gear, the controller. I don't know if something changed. It usually doesn't change that much, but I want to go through the story.
Right.
Now we have a theme. That's why I had an issue with Black Ops 4. You bought the same game, not once, but not twice, but 4 times. If you bought all 4 games, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, then you buy again at Black Ops 4. So you paid it 4 times.
Yeah.
In a way.
You're better off just wait for Black Ops 4 to come out. That way you will not only have 4, but you also have 1, 2, and 3 at the same time.
The only thing you need to get is story mode. You just got the online. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, there's always a catch.
Yep.
Yes? No, not really.
Oh, he's getting in trouble with his wife again.
You're funny. Hold on. Give me a minute.
Yeah. So that's what my issue with Call of Duty right now. It needs a hard break. Rumors are going to do that. But is it official? That is the question I have. As much I love Call of Duty and Battlefield, I'm a gamer at the end of the day, guys. I can't deny that. I started with Mario Bros. 3. That was my addiction. I was like, all right, give me more. And I got hooked on gaming.
Mario Kart is one of those games. I remember me and a couple of friends. We did
Mario Bros. 3. I said, not Kart. Mario Bros. 3.
Oh, okay. Oh God, I remember when that came out.
See, here's the thing, bro. Let's talk about Nintendo for 1 second.
Oh wow.
For 1 second, how many Super Mario Brothers games have they come out every year? They don't. Zelda, another example. Again, let's go talk about another one. Metroid.
Metroid. Oh yes.
Want me to keep going with the list?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. They put a game out, made you want to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Keep playing the game, keep playing the game, keep playing the game, and then when you heard another version's coming out, you were looking forward to it because it been who knows how long since the last time you bought the game.
Exactly.
Nintendo made supply and demand.
Yep.
They made you want to wait for the next game. Or is there another game coming out? That's how good they were back in the day. And they had no qualms about it. If it took 3 years, it took 3 years. If it took 5 years, it took 5 years. Either way, if you played Super Mario Brothers and Super Mario 2 was coming out, you were going to have to wait until it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Super Mario 3. It made you want to wait, and people waited.
I rest my case. So there are a few franchises right now. I can think two off my head. I might be wrong. Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed is doing that mistake.
Mm.
If I look at Assassin's Creed timeline now, the games. Come on, you freaking. All right. Release order, by the way. I'm not doing by timeline. All right. Assassin's Creed 1, 07. Assassin's Creed 3, 09. 3 years. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, a year later. Assassin's Creed 11. They fucked up in the beginning, but they made sure. But they were. I didn't know this now, actually. So after Assassin's Creed 2, they went a year after year after year after year till up to now. So you have Assassin's Creed 1, 07, Assassin's Creed 2, Enzo's edition.
Uh-huh.
It was 3 games. Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, and Revelations. 09, 10, and 11. Assassin's Creed 07, then it was Assassin's Creed 3, Black Flag, Rogue, and so on. All right.
Right.
But they had only one game break. So they've been doing it less time than Call of Duty.
Right.
And they're making the same mistakes. And they didn't only do 1 year. Their first game was a break. No, actually, it's a lie. They broke another year. Okay, yeah. After where is it? After Syndicate, they took a break. They skipped 16 because the movie was coming out.
Right.
They came out with Origin, and Origin was awesome. I was excited. I was happy with that. The only thing I didn't really like too much is the leveling up of the game. I never really liked that in a story mode kind of game.
Okay.
In Assassin's Creed style game. You know what I'm saying? Because you should level up, not level up by experience, by assassinating this person, and you got experience and so on. That's how I felt the game should. Personal opinion, whatever. But then 17 and 18 was back to back. They took a year break. Valhalla came out. And they took a little break. 2020, 13. Only reason to take the break because there's a lot of content in these games now.
Right.
Valhalla is over 100 plus hours.
Oh, wow.
Because you have to level up so much. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
They're breaking, but they're still not making. They care more about the open world here,
right,
versus the story mode, and that's what Assassin's Creed was known for. Versus Call of Duty is focusing so much on the online, they're forgetting about the story mode, the theme, and they care about. Okay, we're gonna put this new online game out. Guess what? We can drop all these buy-ons, skins, guns, and all this stuff. The game is $60, or if you buy the platinum, I think it's $100 something.
Yeah.
Let's say you buy the gold, whatever package it is, then 100. Maybe you have to drop another 100, $200 in one game. Anton, please make some sense on this because it makes no sense to me.
It doesn't. It doesn't. To me, you want people. If you want them to come back, give them a reason to wait. And that's what Nintendo did. They gave them a reason to wait. And people were willing to wait. It didn't care how long you had to wait. It didn't care it had to be 3 years or 5 years, or if another version was coming out, people were getting ready for it. They were waiting in line, getting ready for it. You created the demand. And it gave you time to make sure that whatever new version you're putting out of that previous game, you want to make sure it was better than the previous game. That's what it did. That's what they did. And it just seemed like they were rushing these out because they felt like we got this momentum going. Let's keep going. We don't want it to stop. Not realizing the faster you were putting these games out, you were tripping over your own feet. you have to create demand. If you want people to come back, you have to find a way to make changes here and there. You have to find a way to make each game differentiate from one another. You don't want to just do the same thing and then just change the name or change the subtitle or whatever. You want each game to be different in some way, shape, or form. And that was the problem with Call of Duty. They kept putting it out there, making very little to no noticeable changes. The only thing they might have changed is maybe the storyline. That's it. Other than that, it was almost the same thing. But if you want people to come back, you have to put the time and the work and the effort in when it comes to everything, from writing the stories to the illustrations, making sure all the details are flawless, to where when you put out this game, they will notice the differences from the beginning. But that's what the mistake Call of Duty made. They didn't try to make anything different. And people get tired of it. If you want them to come back, you have to create the demand. You got to have them come back and then say, oh, wow, this is different than the previous one. I like that. And that's what will always make some games worthy and worth buying, because you would notice the differences from the jump.
I'll give you a better example. Zelda. This is a big franchise. They have released every game for every system on clock ever since Nintendo had launched. The Game Boy also. So let me ask you a question, Anton. Do you ever play Zelda?
I haven't played the originals. I haven't played them. That's the only time I really played.
I'm saying, when you played last time, have you played it at some point in your life?
Yes, I have.
Okay. What was the last one you played?
Oh, wow. A long time.
According to time, Matt, was it 64?
Last time I remember playing was still the NES.
Okay, that's fine. But you're pretty known for the gaming community. You know the ins and outs, right?
Right.
Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you heard a bad Zelda game come out?
Exactly. I haven't.
My point exactly. So, like one of the last games that came out, not the very last one, but the last one. It was called Breath of the Wild. 9.4 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 97% out of 100. The very last game, and eventually I'm going to get to these if I have time. 10 out of 10, 4.8 out of 5. So what do they do better than Call of Duty and Battlefield? Battlefield numbers are pretty high, let's be honest. But COD is not. Again, I want everybody to understand, this is not a bashing of who's better.
No.
Call of Duty sucks and Battlefield is better. I'm not saying that. I think both are great games. I'm a hardcore Call of Duty person. I buy it every year because I'm interested in when is the next story coming out. Well, how good it is. But I haven't found a story to mind blow me. In other words, fuck my brains out. Black Ops 2 and Ghost was the last two games I say it fucked my brains out.
Wow.
Because the way they left Ghost, and people didn't like it, but it was hard to come off on the most highest, greatest Call of Duty game ever made for a lot of people, Black Ops 2.
Right.
And if you remember correctly, you played Ghost, right?
Yeah.
So you remember the ending, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'll remind you. They blew up the train. The guy, the bad guy of the game, is dragging the brother by the legs. I gotta teach you a thing or two now. He was probably gonna brainwash him or beat the crap out of him or whatever. That was a cliffhanger that we're never gonna get, probably. Because if I go look right now, I'm gonna look it up right now. I'm pretty sure if I type in Call of Duty Ghost 2, and it was like, okay, As May 2028, Ghost 2 has not been officially announced or release date by Activision or Infinity War. We're never going to get one because Ghost was, in their eyes, a flop. Because the numbers is 6 out of 10, 6.6 out of 10, 3.3 out of 5. If the numbers are not high enough, they're not going to do another one. And if I click in on here, why was Call of Duty Ghost a failure? Is poor poor multiplayer maps design and execution, fast time to kill, TTK, and lack of innovation. But again, I do understand why. You're coming off one of the hottest games versus Battlefield. You're not coming off any hot game because you have a break. You have the DLCs. As much as I hate DLCs, I think they're a waste of money. I think DLCs should be included with the price you buy the game.
Exactly.
I'm not a fan of them. So by that said,
you're paying already an arm and a leg for the game. DLC should be included. Like people keep forgetting, there was a time where you bought one version of the game, it cost this amount, it didn't come with the DLC. And then you bought the same game that cost more, and it came with DLC.
Yep.
So my question is, if you want DLC included, put this version out.
Oh, they're not going to do that.
Yeah, I know. But people will pay for it.
Same thing with skins and the guns and everything. The guy who can spend more money on his COD game is usually the best player of the group.
Yeah. And those are the ones that have been playing for hundreds or even thousands of hours.
Sometimes not even that. They just know how to spend the money to get the powerful weapons. Because you need 1,000 COD points to release this. But if you pay $10.99, you can buy it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a problem with that. I work hard for my money. What about you, Anton?
Oh, yeah. I definitely do. And the thing is, the one thing I remember from back in the day, when The Legend of Zelda first came out, me, my brother, and 3 of our friends that we grew up with, every weekend we got together to play. We would write notes on how to get to certain areas. And people don't realize when you were done and it was game over, you started all the way back to the beginning. So that's why it was important to write the stuff down so you can remember how to get back to the last known level before it was game over.
You know what I used to do? I used to buy a strategy guide for that. But you know what I do now?
You just download the stuff.
Nope. You're wrong. I just look on YouTube for a walkthrough.
These kids nowadays don't realize how lucky they have it.
Oh, they're very lucky.
Yes.
If you have it difficult being a boss, look it up. Everybody has their own way of beating somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But usually the same result. But again,
that was it was.
What do you think about the movie, dude? Seriously, Call of Duty. I want to we got a few minutes. I want to kind of talk about that for a few minutes.
Okay.
Before we do that, I have a question for you.
Okay.
You think Battlefield is going to come a movie right behind them afterwards? My answer is yes, personally.
I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't be surprised. Call of Duty. I'm looking forward to this movie. And the rumor is Taylor Sheridan's going to be involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
So and he actually is involved with the writing, it's going to be great. Because I've watched Yellowstone. I watched Tulsa King. I watched Mary Kingstown. All of them are great. You're not disappointed. Now you have Marshalls. Since Yellowstone ended, from what I heard, it's pretty good. You have Dutton Ranch as well. Also, that came on after Yellowstone ended. Then you also now have Nola King. That's supposed to be a spinoff of Tulsa King. There's talks about maybe doing another Yellowstone spinoff called 4 Sixes. So you're not going to be disappointed. For some reason, anything he does, it's going to be realistic. It's going to be gritty. It's going to be like unapologetic. That's how good Taylor Sheridan is. And if you watch any of his shows, either those that used to air like Yellowstone or the ones that are currently on, you'll see what I'm talking about. So
Yellowstone's on my list to watch. I haven't got to it because it's been busy. Like you know, it's been going on with me.
Yeah, Yellowstone. That's heavy. Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone, very good series.
I don't have what is that called?
Paramount Plus.
What is it?
Paramount Plus.
I deleted my account with that because I was just tired of wasting my money on that because there wasn't a lot of good things on there. It was nothing except that.
Another one that he did was called Mary Kingstown with Jeremy Renner.
I haven't heard about that one.
Oh, really? You'll see. Trust me.
There's so many shows. It's hard to keep up with everything, bro.
That's true. That is true. But that just shows how good Taylor Sheridan is. The fact that he has these shows and a lot of them are airing, and now he's going to have a couple more shows coming out in the near future. They haven't given out a date of when, but you already have that understanding. Like Nola King has Samuel L. Jackson in it, and it's supposed to be a spinoff of Tulsa King. So, yeah. So you have that, and like I said, the other two and the two spinoffs I just told you about that came off of Yellowstone, Marshalls and Dutton Ranch.
So this guy's known pretty well around.
Yeah, he really is. And both Marshalls and Dutton Ranch started up basically around the same time period. They're basically still within the Yellowstone universe, but they are going in their own separate directions. But they do tie in with each other in some way, shape, or form. And both shows just started this season. And so far, Nola King, I haven't heard a date of when they're supposed to premiere. I'm hearing maybe sometime this summer. And the fact that you got a show with a series with Samuel L. Jackson on it, I'm willing to give it a chance.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's get into our final thoughts and we heck out of here. You want?
Yeah.
I'll put you up there.
All right, no problem. Thanks. Oh man, looking at these two games, Call of Duty has always had a very large following compared to Battlefield and what we talked about before with Medal of Honor. But the one thing I think that has worked for Battlefield is its realism and the fact that they're willing to take a break between games. That means it gives them time to perfect or work on whatever mistakes they may have made in the previous game to make sure they don't pop up again in the next game. It also gives a lot of the people involved time to write stories to make them as real as possible. They never try to go too far left or too far right. And I think with Call of Duty, because they were so successful at one point that they kept putting game after game after game every single year, that they tripped over their own feet. And the fact that now they're realizing how popular a game like Fortnite is, and now they're trying to model them, that's not a good thing. You stick with what already works. You stick with what already got you to that particular level, what got you into that standard, and you maintain that. So looking at what could be a hard reboot for Call of Duty. I'm looking forward to it because maybe it's time for a lot of people involved in that to take a minute to rest up, to, I guess, deflate, to just, just exhale. And maybe that time off, which is much needed, might help them with coming back and saying, this is what we're going to start doing next. This is the next story. This is the next chapter. And hopefully maybe they'll do that. Give it a couple of years. Give it at least maybe a good 2 or 3 years and then come back. Battlefield, they've never tried to rush things. They've given themselves time and it does work. And they never try to stray. So there's working for them. So hopefully we'll see what happens within the next few months. Maybe this long-deserved break that Call of Duty needs will help the people get things going. And if this is going to be the most recent Battlefield that's out now, if that's going to be the last game for the next couple of years, maybe that'll help them learn to let's try something different as well. But sometimes you have to be willing to try. You have to be willing to try something different and take that chance. And hopefully Call of Duty does that. And it also was and hopefully it will also be beneficial for Battlefield because I'm looking forward to them taking that time off. And hopefully other games that has popular stories like this, whatever it is, whether it's Assassin's Creed or anything else, they do the same thing. Take a few years off and then come back. And we'll see what happens. Because because a lot of these companies need to realize a lot of the fans and those that have been following you, they're not going anywhere. They just want you to take the time to do something good and make it better and not rush what basically could be a masterpiece. And that's all I got to say. I know some words we're thinking about.
All right. So you guys heard my opinion today through the show. It needs a hard reboot. It needs a restart, something, because what we're doing now is not working. So I think we need to do a little schedule update and get a heck out of here. What do you think, Anton?
Yeah, we'll see what we got coming up.
Yeah. Tomorrow we'll be in a graveyard. I gotta speak to Paul, like you guys heard earlier. We're going back and forth with no money. Can you live without money or day online? So I gotta speak to my buddy. So on Tuesday, I'm going too far. Sorry. On Monday, me and Anton will be on wrestling with talking wrestling with the Spartan. Will be a show. So have to figure a topic. Again, like I mentioned before, reason we don't post wrestling shows so far ahead, topic change so fast, so easily. So I don't want to put things too far ahead that we're flip-flopping shows.
I have an idea. We'll talk about that after, offline.
Yeah. On Tuesday, we're going to be talking about cancel culture versus accountability. What does justice go too far? And next week on Hangout, you ready for this?
I'm listening.
Batman versus the Punisher. Justice or vengeance?
I thought we did that already, didn't we?
No. You guys did when I had to take the day off. No, we did something different. It was Punisher versus Rambo.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
This is going to be a interesting one. Does money win or tax win? Taxpayers win.
That's right, because I remember Mandrell popped in on that show that Paul and I did. That's right.
Yeah, it was on. I had to leave early because that was Easter. I had to go to the bank.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So accept that, guys. As always, this was a Spartan XU Network. This show was Operation Hangout. I am the Spartan. He is my man, Anton. As always, stay fresh, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Yeah, have a good one.